Alright, well, 3 more minutes and we will start. Let's get rid of this. Wait, that's me. Why am I hearing myself? Interesting, interesting. Is it YouTube? No, it's not YouTube. I'm gonna close Twitch. Maybe that will do it. Hello, testing, testing. Yeah, it should work. Hello, everybody. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Obviously, the first thing you see is an Excel sheet. It all starts with an Excel sheet, doesn't it? Alright, so, yeah, good morning. The audio levels should be fine. Let me explain what I'm doing here. Last year, I guess it was July or August, I came up with this idea for a card game. Not a trading card game, nothing too huge, but a small card game for 2 to 5 players or 6 players, something like that, in which each player is a demon, and the goal of the game is to take as many souls as possible during the apocalypse. So there's living people in a city, I'm assuming, or just the world, just in the center of the table. Tokens that represent human souls, and each player plays as either mythological or theological demon, or maybe even from pop culture. And there's a deck of cards in front of them. Everybody has their turn in order, and the goal is to get as many souls as possible before they finish, or before the deck ends. So yeah, I came up with this idea, sort of started exploring it in September, and that's why there are already a few documents here written down. So like, this is a version 1.0 of a rule book, which I reread yesterday, and I found some interesting things. Certain things I'm going to change quite obviously, and I've already changed some stuff yesterday. But basically, today, the goal of the stream today is to create a card set for the game that can be testable, can be put into an online board game simulator, or tabletop simulator, so that we can test the mechanics of the game. So let's start with this archaic rulebook, and let me explain what I'm going to do to change the rules, at least for this first playtest session, because I want this first session to be a proof of concept of the main core of the game. Hey, wizard. yeah. Everyone likes card games. And in fact, my original claim to fame was trading card game development series for my game Multiverse Cosmic Conquest. So that's why I'm streaming this to YouTube as well. Maybe some people, some of my old subscribers that still haven't unsubscribed can watch the series and learn a thing or two, or join in testing, whatever you want. Obviously, this is pretty early on in the game development, so maybe this won't turn into a fully fledged game, but the goal is obviously to release it. And the original idea was to create a small, realistic size game. So I'm thinking maybe 80 images, 80 cards, 80 unique cards. Maybe some of them will be repeats. I'm not sure exactly now, but I can do 80 images by myself in 3 months. Hey, Syllogism. Gotta head to bed, but dropped by to say hi. This seems like an awesome project. Thanks. Yeah, you can maybe watch the VOD later. Watch it back. Alright, let me start off by explaining the original rules that I came up with. I mean, you can probably read it already. So the placeholder name is Apocalypse, but I think it will be something different. I'm not exactly sure what the name of the game will be, like Taken Souls or Lost Souls or Demons Taking Souls, but not Demon Souls, obviously, because that's already taken. But basically, okay, a game for 2 to 5 players, and the version of the rules here have basically 3 decks, right? One for the demons, for the characters. So before the game starts, you pick a demon out of this deck. Then there are monsters in like a separate zone, and another common deck with all of the spells. And I guess they're called soul tokens, which can be anything. Could be just a number written on paper, or could be like little coins or dice, whatever. A signifier. Yeah, before the game starts, each player chooses a demon to play as. They place the chosen demon card next to them, face up on the table, so everybody knows who you play as. If you're Mephistopheles, or if you are Lilith, or Davy Jones maybe could be a demon. Which, by the way, yeah, I have some stuff here. Like, I have this list of demons and possible abilities, but we'll get to that in due time. In a player's turn, in this version, they can do any of these things once. Use their demon's ability, so most demons have an active ability, I'm assuming. Cast a spell from their hand, summon a monster from the monster deck, attack with a monster. And the monsters would have one stat, I think. Not an attack and defense, not a power and toughness, but just a power stat, I think. Just a very simplistic battle system. They may also decide to pass the turn. If they have 5 cards in hand while they pass their turn, they have to discard, whatever. This is all like corner case rules nonsense that could be changed. Using a demon's ability, casting a spell. To cast a spell from your hand, reveal it and put it into the discard pile. So there is no resource system. All the spells have to be balanced or unbalanced because everybody plays with the same deck, so that could be a part of the luck element of the game. Summoning a monster. Okay, this is something that I have changed. Basically, the idea was that the cards in the common deck have different suits that could be either, you know, fire, wind, earth, and what's the 4th element? Air. Or they could be like the 7 sins, so you could have greed cards, you could have lust cards, wrath, etc., etc. And if you have a combination of like 3 or 4 or 5 lust cards, you can discard them and summon a lust demon or a lust monster from the monster deck. So that was the original idea, and I went and I decided to move away from it because for a few reasons. I mean, I'll go into that later. And yeah, you attack with a monster once per turn, and pretty simple stuff. Okay, this was like the first attempt at a rule book that I wrote in September, and then I started sort of thinking of how to design cards for this game. So in order to have an effect on a card, the effect has to reference game pieces, right? Makes sense. What things can a card reference? And there are the souls. So a card can say, take 3 souls, and you take 3 souls from the common pile, from the city, the world. They can be free, meaning, you know, the ones that are in the center of the table still untaken, or they can be owned by a demon. So you can maybe, if a card says take 3 souls from a demon of your choice, or each demon gives 1 soul to you. Cards in hand are an element of the game, so you can discard a card, draw a card, you know, have another player discard a card. The demons, so I don't know, give a card in the common deck can give a demon an ability, can give some sort of stat, I don't know. Abilities, numbers of cards in play, turns, decks, you know, all of the different things. And for a game with just one deck, and you don't, you know, it's not like a trading card game where you need to come up with more and more and more and more cards. The list of game pieces can be relatively low, and still have enough variety for a fully fledged game. But anyway, I listed the game pieces. This is all whatever. Just ignore this. And then I started doing a little bit of maths. So if I have 60 cards in the packaging, right, that are not part of the monster deck and they're not part of the demon deck, then that means that in a 2-player games you can have 50 turns max, because during each turn each player draws a card from the deck. So you get 50 turns before you end the deck, and the game ends in some way. I don't know, maybe the end of the world has come and whoever has the most amount of souls wins, something like that. With 3 players you have 45 turns total, 4 players, and with 6 players you have 30 turns total, 5 per player. 5 turns per player is really low, so that means that if I have a 60 card deck, the game cannot be for 6 players. I think it can be maximum for 5, because 7 turns is already a lot more manageable. You can have 7 turns and feel like you've done something in the game. I mean, it depends on the gameplay, but I think that 5 turns is a bit too low before you exhaust all of the cards in the deck. And then I started, thinking about what are the luck elements in this game, what cards you draw, what cards other players draw, and possible random effects. What the balance needs to be. And here we have the relationship of each demon with the cards available in the deck. Basically, the demons need to be balanced with each other, and they need to relate to the cards in the common deck in some way. That's not 100% necessary, because you get to pick the demon beforehand. So at worst you will have some underpowered demons that nobody plays, and have a meta of maybe 3 or 4 or 5 demons that are much better. At best, obviously you want every demon to be playable and conducive to their own game style. Then we have abilities of each demon. The abilities need to be balanced with each other, and the spell strength, the resource system. Okay, we'll get into that later. What are the strategy elements of the game? Which cards you play and when, which demons to attack or attack the city, whether to use a demon's ability or play a card instead, which demon to pick against, blah blah blah. Bluffing, there is no bluffing in this version of the game, because I cannot think of a bluffing element. It could be introduced if we want that in the game, and I think, considering it's a game about demons taking human souls, bluffing and lying and it seems like an appropriate element to be added in the game. But for now, there is none. Okay. Going on to the first playtest session. Now, before I would go there, let me tell you that these rules were like a initial thought experiment. And let me tell you why I'm changing them, at least for the first playtest session, and we'll see, maybe we'll go back. I'm only one person. I need to draw all of the cards. I need to, draw the packaging, package them, and all of that. And each card has a piece of artwork. Let's assume that I can draw 1 piece of artwork a day, because they're maybe not as complicated as, big sprawling pieces. If it's 60 cards, it'll take 2 months. More realistically, like 2.5 months. If it's 80 cards, it'll take 3 months. That's realistic. With Multiverse, the base set had 250 cards, and even if I were to draw all of them by myself, back then I didn't draw the artwork, I had too much else on my mind. It would have taken me 9 months, 10 months to draw the entire thing if I were to have a constant stream of artwork, 1 a day. So this is much more manageable. And to make it more manageable, we can grab the monsters and slab them inside of the general deck. Have 1 big deck, and the monsters can be part of it. And that means that there needs to be a different way of summoning them, but that's pretty solvable without adding any other elements to the game. We have souls already. We have soul tokens. So during the game, you like collect these souls, and in order to play monsters and more powerful effects, maybe even spells, you can pay those souls, for example. That could be a resource system. That, in my opinion, is the simplest way to have a resource system within this environment, because you pay souls. Your goal is to collect souls, right? So you can pay a certain amount to as an investment, right? In theory, so like you pay 2 and you get a monster that can take 3 a turn, for example, if they attack and aren't destroyed. So that could be a way of getting rid of the second deck and including those extra 5 to 15 cards into the common deck. And it increases variance, increases luck, but we'll see. We'll have to balance all of that out. But most importantly, it makes it so I don't have to add these extra 5 to 15 cards outside of the common deck, so it's less work for me, strangely enough. Another thing is that I thought about having an option to summon extra demons. So each player has a demon as their avatar, and there needs to be a pretty complex way to summon a demon from the rest of the demons that haven't been chosen. So I think I will use the summon monster mechanic, which is here, right? If you have 3 or 4 or 5 cards that of the same suit, we'll reuse this mechanic in order to summon the demons that have to be outside of the main deck, because they are a different type of card entirely. They cannot be inside of the common deck. But basically, we're reusing these cards as well. So my goal is to reuse as many of these cards as possible, so I don't have to... I can draw fewer images, basically, and it becomes a much more compact game. Alright, that said, yeah, the first playtest session, we won't be adding any demons and play with just the cards in the deck. Basically, I want to see if the game is playable without these demons, without the avatars, by just having a very simplified version of the game where essentially what I need to playtest is the soul gathering mechanic, if it works, and how it works, and the monsters battle system, if it works and how it works. If those 2 pillars work, then we can add demon abilities on top of that, and then it becomes a really interesting game. And for this first playtest session, I'm gonna limit the rules to, like, okay, you can only play 1 card per turn, and you can only attack with a monster once per turn, things like that, to like distill the game to a very, very basic version of itself. And if that works, then we can add more details and more complexities on top. And if it doesn't work, it's easier to figure out what doesn't work, because we've gotten rid of all the externalities beforehand. That said, okay, we have like some sort of list of demons here. Thankfully, we don't need the demons for the first playtest session, so we don't need like the Horsemen of War, Famine, Plague, and Death, Asmodeus, Beelzebub, you know, Behemoth, which, you know, this is a debated topic, whether we want to add actual Lucifer and Satan. I think not. I think I'd rather add demons from pop culture and you know, less provocative demons. Although maybe, you know, maybe it can stir up a craze, like in the 90s, Magic the Gathering was banned because of their demons, and they thought it was a demonic game, and it just made it more popular. So I don't know, maybe that could be a marketing strategy. That's a possibility. All right, so let's add another page here, and we will create a very simple set of cards. I'll try to have 60 done by today, but we'll see how many we can come up with. And we will have a name and an effect and a cost. Now the costs will only come up in monsters or maybe very powerful spells, but we'll see how it goes. I will cross-reference some of these earlier spells that we have. See, like there are a few that I think could be used. All right, let's start. What kind of spells can demons throw at a city to destroy it's okay. Let's go with the, you know, the obvious, you know, copies of Magic the Gathering cards. It could be deal 3 damage to a monster, or not gather. Take 3 souls. And cost will just have it 0. If this is a baseline for spells, then we can sort of design other cards with around the same strength. So if we want to add Flood, for example, what can a Flood do? It can return all 2 or less monsters to their player's hands. I don't know about the wording, but hey Soul Spies. How's it going? The wordings obviously don't matter at all, but for now let's create more free cards. It could be like Earthquake, and most of the spells I'm thinking will have to do with the Soul Collection. What could we do? So this one doesn't collect any souls. The Earthquake could deal 1 damage to all monsters. Not collect. Maybe it should be collect souls. Yeah. Collect what? Well, let's just say 2 souls. And here, you know, as a first pass through, I think I can have these cards give you souls no matter what. Because the goal of this first playtest session is not to have a balanced game, but to have a functional game that at least works. And I think if most of the cards give you souls, then you will have enough to play the monsters that, you know, cost souls to play. And that mitigates the sort of unluck of having the thing that happens in Pokemon or in Magic the Gathering, where you have a hand of only energies. Actually, it doesn't happen in Pokemon, but it happens in Magic the Gathering. You have a handful of land or no land, and you can't play the game appropriately. Alright, what other things could happen? Tornado. Tornado can... actually, I think Tornado should have this ability, but a Flood can maybe drag up some cards from the discard pile. So it could be how about empty the discard pile, collect souls equal to the number of cards removed this way. So this means that the Flood is more powerful later in the game when there's a bigger discard pile. Whoops. Let's see. Lightning Bolt, Earthquake is more, strength, more powerful with the monsters. Returnal Power 2, okay. These are more kind of artificially invented, but let's keep going. What other types of curses? Pestilence. Maybe. Alright, let's move the cost here. Maybe we can have cards that are permanent on the field, so they stay. They can be called curses. And the curse says collect 1 soul each turn, for example. And then there could be and right now we are just designing spells. By the way, if you have any ideas, let's keep them going. Wildfire. Let's get one. Wildfire can how about collect 1 soul. No, let's do it this way. Each player discards a card. Collect 1 soul for each card discarded. Again, pretty simple effects. Okay, we've got natural disasters. We have a pestilence. We have a flood, earthquake, tsunami. How about each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws that many cards, and then you collect 1 soul. What could be done later? So let's see. We have darkness, hail, boils, lice, drought. Okay, drought could be interesting. Drought. Wait, that's the wrong thing. Could be a curse. Actually, let's do it this way. Pestilence can collect 1 soul for each soul you control. So, essentially, what this means is your souls that you've already taken are diseased, so they spread the disease, and it just keeps building. So if you have 1, the next turn you get 2, the next turn you get 6, I guess. And it just spirals out of control. This might be too powerful, but okay, we'll do it this way. What can the drought do? Drought can deal 1 damage to all turn. Collect 1 soul. So yeah, I can already tell that pestilence is too powerful. We can collect 1 soul from each. For each soul. Maybe like some of them should die. It's kind of hard to tell what to do. Okay, let's do it differently. Let's have remove a free soul from the game each turn. So basically, you don't get it, but it's out of the game. That makes it really weak now. From the game each turn. Let's do it this way. Equal to the number of souls under your control. This way, if you have just one soul under your control, then you kill one human every turn. And if you have like 3, it kills 3 every turn. So it basically ends the game much quicker. And it doesn't necessarily help you. Like if you're behind on souls, then the pestilence just works against you. But it is still powerful. Drought. Deal 1 damage to each monster. Okay, now things are getting more balanced. Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you want to know what I'm doing, you can just watch the video back. I explain it all earlier, but I'm not gonna, repeat things. Okay, next. What? Oh, Raise Dead could be an interesting effect. Very devilish. So Raise Dead will literally how can I phrase it? The phraseology will be really tricky with these cards. Let's call it place a monster in your discard pile. No, from your discard pile, right? Into play under your control. Very easy, right? And I think this can be a free card because it only has an effect if there are powerful monsters in the discard pile. So early on it does nothing, and itself doesn't give you souls. Yes, the monsters will eventually, but compared to other cards, this is fine. Let's keep going. We've only gotten 10. We've got I don't know about spawning lice and spawning frogs. I think I don't want to add tokens to this game because that means more work for me, and it increases the size of the deck and all sorts of ungood things. Drought, flood, let's see, locusts, poison water, turn to blood. All right, that was one of the plagues, right, in Exodus. All right, what could poisoned water do? Poisoned water can actually, I don't know what it could do. It's kind of strange. Mind Erasure, Sacrifice, Harvest Season, Demon Block, Times Kick, Reconsider, Recall Memory, Raise Dead. Let's do more demonic card. What is this? Let's do a sacrifice, human sacrifice. So basically this card will remove, or actually let's call it pay 3 souls, look through the deck. Oh, search your deck, I guess. for that makes no sense actually. If you already have the monsters in your deck as it is, maybe what can a human sacrifice do? Okay, pay 1 soul. All of your monsters gain 1 power. This might be, you know, bad. Let's make it 2 powers, because again, this card doesn't give you souls directly, which I think we need to create more spells that give you souls directly. And I don't know exactly how many monsters per no, in proportions to other souls other cards we want, but I think it will have be a minority, maybe like 25% monsters versus other cards. Darkness, yeah, darkness is fun. Monsters can't attack during their controllers next turn. And I think you need to collect 1 soul, because otherwise it's just a really weak effect. All right. How about mind control? Pretty simple. And let's call it a curse, because it stays in play, right? Attach mind control to it. There you go. Actually, never mind. Let's make it a spell. I don't want to add too many words to the effects of cards. I don't want it to be very particular, like Magic the Gathering, where you need to learn the rules before you can read the cards, because otherwise the cards don't explain themselves. I want it to be very simple and direct language. Time skip. Oh yeah, let's have some interesting. Let's do some bottom-up design. So let's do a reverse turn order. And we'll call it I don't know. What's the Uno card that does this effect? Hey Poglin, how's it going? We've got very exciting Excel sheet working to be done today. What's the Uno card that reverses the turn order? The Know You card. I don't know what's it called, but I want one in the game, because this type of effect only can happen in board games and not in trading card games. Then we can have the block, you know, turn block. The names don't matter. Let's call it negate turn of next player in the, what's it called? In order. I think it's literally called reverse. Oh yeah. And what about the other Uno card that blocks the turn of the opponent's negate? I know. Next player in turn order skips their next turn. That should be understandable. And again, collect 1 soul. 0. Next, what other types of effects we can have? If we go back to the rules, we have all of these game pieces. So what kind of things we can have? Let's have a card that sort of refreshes your hand. Discard 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. Collect 2 souls. And this can be called, I don't know, go to the library and consult the Necronomicon. And it's a spell. Most of these things will be spells. Curse just means a spell that stays in play and isn't discarded. Okay, we have a Raise Dead, but then we can have consult the archive. We can have return a spell card from the discard pile into your hand, and this is a weak effect, so we need to collect like 4 souls. 3. You know, Lightning Bolt is looking more and more powerful now. Alright. What other in-game things we have? Abilities, number of cards in play, turns, deck. Let's have a card that attacks the opponent's hand. So it could be called Mind... okay, there is already Mind Control. Mind Break. A player of your choice discards their hand and draws that many cards? That doesn't make much sense the way it's worded. Puglin, you'll have to help me out with wording later, so that it's understandable to a non, gamer audience. A player of your choice discards their hand and draws that many cards. What that many cards? What do you mean that many cards? I don't reference cards here. Anyway, it's interesting how it works. All right, let's save this. Dropped 1. What other elements we have? Turns. Okay. Let's have it called time warp, and it can be, what could it be? You gain an extra turn after this one. This makes no sense because you pay a card, you play a card and you gain an extra turn. It's fine actually. That just means that you can attack twice with your monsters, basically. You got it, bruv. And the cost is all 0 because most of these cards should be able to be playable early game. Let's have some monsters now. And let's have like a really simple... Let's have it go up to 6 for now. Sort of scale of monsters. Let's have an imp, which makes sense as a small little monster. Level 2 could be something bigger than an imp. A thrall or a succubus. Let's have it is a thrall worse than an imp? What do you think? 3 needs to be a Cerberus for flavor reasons. 4 can be a Djinn. Sort of going into bigger monsters from hell. Then we can have I don't know, an Efreet And then level 6 can be a Leviathan or a... what's it called? Mastodon? No, there's another name. Behemoth. And monsters have an ability innate within them, so I don't know that they need an extra effect. At least not the vanilla ones. But maybe we can add a little bit of an effect. So Succubus obviously needs some sort of effect. What can it do? She can... obviously she's a demon of lust, so she... each turn... one soul... one free... soul... create one free soul. So basically one person is born, right? In the city. This is interesting. Okay, yeah. It just elongates the game a little bit. Free souls just means souls that are in the middle of the table that aren't taken yet. And the other ones are taken souls by demons, because the players are demons. Imp. What do imps do? Maybe nothing, actually. Cerberus is the guardian of the underworld. So, maybe... if a monster attacks one of your monsters, it attacks Cerberus instead. Basically, in Hearthstone terms, it has taunt. Jinn grants wishes once per turn. Discard a card and draw a card, maybe. No, actually, it should be. Maybe it shouldn't be the like you look at your. It shouldn't be a tutor effect. Like you look at the entire deck and choose any card. That makes it way too powerful. But if it maybe not once per turn, maybe once when you play it. When Jinn enters play, search your deck, search the deck for any card, reveal it, and add it to your hand. There you go, you got a wish. A Freet is just a fire Jinn, right? So maybe whenever Freet attacks, it deals 1 damage to all monsters. Right? So it kills all the imps. Behemoth. Behemoth, what can a behemoth do? It's just a very big monster, right? Oh, actually, I just thought of something. Beside the cost, there needs to be a power, right? Of these monsters. They need an attack and defense value, but maybe we can get away with just one single number. So, so far, so good. The Jinn has to be 4, the Ifrit can be like 6, and the Behemoth can be like 9, I think. Or yeah, that makes sort of sense. Obviously, I'm really wildly speculating. The Ifrit might be a bit weak. How about it deals 2 damage to a monster of your choice that effectively gives it 8. Okay, would be like that. So it's kind of like 7 power, but a little bit more. and the behemoth can be just a dumb 10 power creature. What other monsters can be summoned from the abyss? What other demonic... Hey, Soul Splice. How's it going? We have Thrall. I don't know what a Thrall is, but I think it's like corrupted human. It's been a while, yeah. I have been streaming off and on Twitch, mostly art, but we'll see if the first couple of playtest sessions go well. Maybe this will turn into an actual released game. It's a small project, so it's you have been... Yes, I have been streaming. Oh, for you. I see you're a VIP, so you must be from the pixel art days. No more pixel work for me recently. So, okay. Thrall costs 1 soul and maybe has 0 power, but it has an effect. It can turn other souls into thralls, maybe. When Thrall attacks the city, we'll call it the city, it turns a free soul into a thrall. There you go. So basically, it can only attack the city. It cannot attack other monsters. But it turns a regular human being into another copy of itself, kind of like a zombie. It's been a long time since I've been able to check in. Glad to see you're having fun. Yeah. I only stream when I'm not, you know, completely depressed. So most of the time when I'm streaming, I'm either having fun or at least not having unfun. So there you go. Yeah, my mood is good today. What other monsters can be sort of demonic things that can be summoned? I don't want to add like fantasy monsters like goblins and elves and all of that, but since the theme is demons and the underworld, let me think. Do we have something here? Oh, yeah, okay. Leviathan, Cerberus, Lies, Frog, Locust, Gorgon, Naga, Serpent. Not a lot to choose from here. Let's have a vampire. Vampires are sort of related to religion a little bit. We can have sort of a mummy, what's it called? A man that can turn into a wolf. It's a werewolf. Let's have a Naga, a Gorgon, other sort of vaguely demonic creatures. Could have a, yeah, talking serpent. Let's have a Leviathan. I'm not sure if the Behemoth and the Leviathan should have any effects. I think the Leviathan is supposed to be a big sea creature, right? So what could the sea creature do? Oh, okay. Leviathan costs 2 less for each. So we've got a flood spell. We have like a tsunami spell. Okay, let's have it for each flood, tsunami. Anything else? Yeah. Flood or tsunami in the back and in the discard pile. And we'll have it be maybe... Let's have the behemoth be like a big dumb monster that costs 7, then the Leviathan... No, I actually think the Leviathan should cost 7. Behemoth could cost 6, and this one has 8 power. Basically, yeah, you can get it to cost 5. I think that's fine, yeah. 5... Yeah, okay. Go to monster. All of these are monsters. So the vampire sucks blood, right? And turns into a bat. How can we translate that into an effect for this particular game? Maybe something happens when it deals damage. Vampire deals damage. Oh, I know. No, wait, that's dumb. I thought maybe if a vampire attacks the city and, you know, takes a soul, it turns into a vampire. And same with the werewolf. But that makes them overpowered, I think. There is no permanent damage, so I don't know. Oh, I know. It gains 1 power permanently. So basically, it just grows. So have it start as a small succubus level vampire, and will cost like 3 probably. No, let's have it cost 2. Mummy. How about a mummy that costs 0? And that's fine, actually. Leave it like that. A werewolf. Whenever werewolf attacks the city, turn 1 free soul into a werewolf. That makes sense. So werewolf will be also power 2, and it will cost 3. Naga. Flood, tsunami, or Naga. Probably, I will have different types of cards, maybe like fire, water, the 4 different elements, because we already have a flood, an earthquake, a tornado, and a wildfire. So we have the 4 elements represented. Also drought, tsunami. So maybe we'll have different elements of the cards. We'll see. For now, I'm just gonna do it the very, very basic way. Gorgon turns enemies into stone. Whenever Gorgon deals damage to a monster, turn it to stone. I'm gonna literally write it like that. It turns to stone and cannot attack. And deals its power becomes 0. And it can't attack. I'm just gonna write it really simple. So the Gorgon will have power. How much should it cost? We've got 2 units that cost 1, 2 that cost 2, 2 that cost 3. So maybe the Gorgon could cost 4, and it could be kind of weak. Maybe. What can the Naga do? The Naga... I feel the Naga doesn't have any special abilities. Maybe it's just 3/3. Something like that. Alright. How many monsters do we have? We have 3, 6, 9, 12 monsters. In a deck of 60 cards, maybe we can have another 3. And that means that we'll have 25% monsters in the deck. So let's think of 3 more monsters. Please help me out, because I'm kind of I'm out of ideas. The Serpent can give you knowledge of good and evil, right? So when Serpent enters play, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, rearrange them. However you like. Rearrange them in any order. That is actually an interesting effect. It's more powerful than it would be in other, in collectible card games, because everyone uses the same deck, so you actually get to choose what everybody else picks, which actually makes it less flavorful. Serpent, maybe we can leave this effect for another creature, but the Serpent gives you knowledge of good and evil, so right, it gives you knowledge. Ah, okay. Maybe each player reveals a card to you. Oh, sorry. Caps lock. That makes it way less powerful. Reveals a card to you, or maybe maybe one player can reveal their hand to you. Is that more powerful? Yeah. A player of your choice reveals their hand to you. And it kind of has to be a weak one, right? Serpent. Serpent is played with the top 5 cards of the deck, rearrange them in any order. What could this be? Sort of like a witch that sees the future, a seer. Again, maybe like, could be a weak one. Anything else? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Well, 15 out of 60 is 25%. It's a quarter. So we'll leave things as they are for the time being. And we've got another 25 cards to go. Spells and curses. Let's look back at the game pieces. We have souls. Taken by a demon. I think we don't have a card that takes souls from other players. So what could it be? Like a steal steals souls from a demon. The name should be something that makes sense. But this is, bottom-up design. So we start with the effect, which says take 3 souls? Take 2 souls from a demon of your choice. Spell 0. So you get fewer souls than usual, right? Like the lightning bolt allows you to take 3 free souls or destroy something. Here you take 2, but you take it from somebody else. So you actually, there's a difference of 4. Steal. I'm just gonna go steal souls. Next, what other things we have missed here? Direct damage. We've got a Emptying discard pile. There we go. We have two recurring cards. So we've got the Consultant Necronomicon, Consult the Archive, Raise Dead. Okay, we have the Raise Dead. What other things do? I don't know if he would be a demon or a monster. Maybe Hades. Hades could be a demon. I mean, he's, you know, big balls, tough guy. I think the demon characters will be like the top tier demons. Like they're gonna be maybe the Horseman. Ooh, Horseman could be monster. But anyway, they're gonna be like Baal and Abaddon and Asmodeus. Not all of these, but like Belphegor and Mephistopheles, Lilith, like really powerful entities. Okay, let's save this, by the way. We don't want to lose this. Hades might be one of them, yeah. Drought. That's again the wrong thing. What other spells? Curses, spells. Yeah, we can add a few more curses. What are historically like the curses that you associate with demons? Like curse of wealth. You know, the curse of what's it called? Midas could be one. That doesn't make much sense within this game, but let's have it be something like draw an extra card each turn, and that would be a curse. Midas is wealth. Which, you know, doesn't give you souls, but it gives you ammunition, sort of. And I don't know if it works with the rules of the game, but we'll just pretend that it does. What other curses are there? There's like the curse of... there's the 7 deadly sins, so it could be something to do with lust or greed or wrath. Monsters have to attack each turn. I don't call it curse, yeah. Which basically means that if you have stronger monsters, then your opponent's monsters have to suicide against you or somebody else. How about a purifying spell? That makes this name is kind of weird in a game about demons. Maybe it should be like nullification. Spell. And it remove all curses from play. Collect souls equal to the number of cards. Actually, it should be destroy all curses. Destroyed this way. Pretty simple thing. Gains you souls, so pretty cool. Draw an extra card each turn. I don't know if it would be a DNR. Okay. How about this? Pay 1 soul for each card over above 5. No, I don't like it. Let's leave it like that. Okay, nullification spell. We need some more spells that give you souls. So it could be... how about a spell that sacrifices a monster and gives you souls in return. Could be unsummon. How about this? A monster under your control. Collect 5 souls. Basically, if you find a way to maybe use mind control, right? So you gain control of a monster in play from your opponent, and then you destroy it, collect 5 souls. Or you could raise dead. Or you could find a different way of getting more monsters, like the Thrall creates copies of itself. The Thrall is actually probably the best combo, because you have a Thrall, you turn a free soul into a Thrall, and then you destroy it and collect 5 souls. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, we are almost up to 40. It's getting tougher, but I think we can come up with more designs. Again, let's check out the game pieces. We've got turns. Turn order is actually something we have looked into. What things can you do? We can have 2 players switch places. Collect 2 souls. 3. So if you have like 5 players, right? And you say you and you switch places, that means you give an extra turn to somebody else. You mess with the turn order anyway. That's interesting enough. And we'll call it switcheroo for now. Obviously we'll come up with more appropriate names later. All of this entire thing is just to prove the concept, make it work, make it, playable. What other elements are secretly in the game that you wouldn't think of? You can switch the hands of different players. You can, yeah. How about steal barter? I know it's like have it be that way. Chosen player reveals their hand. To you. Choose a card. From it and add it to your hand. Then choose a card in your hand and give it to that player. This is again something that you cannot do in collectible card games because each player has their own deck, but you can do this here. And this looks to be a pretty weak effect, so maybe maybe you get a soul at the end. What else? What other types of effects? I want to add as many different, ways of interacting with the game state, and see if any of them are interesting, any of them are useful, or things like that. We'll think about this. We have our monsters here. I will leave it at 15 because I want most of the spells to give you souls. just for this moment, I think maybe we can up the monster count to 20 and have a third of the deck be monsters. But for now, let's play it safe. How about like a very, very basic? And it could be called really simple stuff. As for more complex things, there's the deck. Amount of actions per turn. Ooh, maybe there can be a curse that allows you to play 2 cards. You can play an extra card during each of your turns. And probably we can have some negative curses that you place on other players. That could be something interesting. And this will have be call it curse of productivity. Doesn't make much sense. Let's have a negative curse that you could put on other players. Chosen player can only have has a maximum hand size of 4. That's bad, actually. That's not a fun card. Nobody likes these sorts of cards. Needs to be a curse that's still fun. Maybe it's something that yeah, chosen player removes 1 soul. No. What I want to do is have a card that takes souls from the possession of the demon back in and make them free again. So I think the wording has to be chosen player releases a soul at the end of each of their turns. How about that? It's something that siphons off souls from another player and makes the game a bit longer. And we'll call it Curse of Benevolence. Curse of Liberty, of freedom. That's really strange, the way I'm wording these things. So we have one way in the deck to release souls back into the wild. Another interesting thing that we have here is that the succubus creates souls. So people are born out of nothingness. What other things we can do? Let's see. Let's look back at all of the cards. We have direct damage. Empty the discard pile. Collect souls equal to the number of cards moved this way. Really, collecting souls in a different way. Deal 1 damage to all monsters. Collect 2 souls. Again, direct damage. Return things to the hand. How about draw a card, then place a card from your hand to the top of the deck. So basically what happens is, yeah, you get a bit of card filtering, and you mess up the turn of the person next to you. Called a spell. And we'll have it collect 1 soul. Because it's a weak effect. And we will call it time management. What other ways do we have of interacting with other players? So we have stealing cards from their hand, switching cards, switching places, switching the turn order, blocking their turn, blocking their attacks, I guess, is less interesting. But I think there are ways here already that, you know, players... I mean, this interacts with the attack system, so that's something. How about anger? All your monsters get +1 power. Is this good enough? Yeah, I think that's fine. No, that's not good enough. Let's have it be +2. Until end of turn. So the idea is that if you have 1 monster, then if you have it attack the city, then it gives you 2 extra souls. So it's a vicarious way of gaining souls some of the time, if you have monsters already. And if I'm speaking gibberish, it's because I explained the rules early on in this video, so I'm just assuming that you know them at this point. And obviously, the next time I stream, actually, the next time I stream, maybe it will be the playtest session, because I'm laying everything bare. Might as well stream the playtest session. That would be fun. I'm kind of out of ideas, honestly. We don't have too many cards to add. 13? 13. Okay, that's doable. Again, what other ways of interacting with the board? We've got collecting souls. We've got releasing souls. We've got... how about moving souls from one player to another? Not necessarily to you. A player of your choice gives 4 souls no, let's do it differently. A player of your choice gives 1 soul to every other player. How about that? This means that this card is more powerful with, you know, more players, and you use it on whoever is winning the game, and it helps everybody. And we'll call it spread the wealth. Eat the rich. Okay. We have a time twister card, right? Something like that. Tsunami, each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Okay, yeah. We have something like that. There is a filtering card, there's a card draw. What other ways of interacting with the souls do we have? Without adding any new game pieces. I'm not gonna add new game pieces right away in the first playthrough. But it's getting kind of hard to come up with unique spell ideas. Please help me out, chat. All right, got the turn at the deck. We could make the game a bit longer. Like, choose 5 card, up to 5 cards in the discard pile, and place them on top of the... no, actually, how about the bottom? Top of the deck is more interesting, it's more interactive. In any order. Spell. And we'll call this recycle and dog and reuse. Obviously the names are becoming less and less demonic as I go on. But this is something that can elongate the game a little bit without adding, 15 extra cards. And it also is a bit of strategy, because depending on which cards you choose and where to put them, you can influence other players' turns. So it adds more strategy and gets rid of a little bit of luck. On the opposite side, let's have something shuffle the deck. Collect 4 souls. Three. Call it cleanse. So basically this is a kind of a weaker card, but if somebody has used the recycle and reuse, or they've used some other effect, I'm not exactly sure which one, but there was one that put cards on top of the deck. But yeah, you can use cleanse. How many curses do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have one card that kills the curses. How about one that sacrifice a curse? Collect 10 souls. Spell. This is a really powerful one, but there aren't too many curses. Actually, maybe a bit too much. Let's have it be 8 souls. And we will call this channel. I don't know what we can call this. It's a bottom-up design, so it can be called anything really. Destroy a curse and collect into the purse. Curse to purse. Let's change the music, by the way. This is getting kind of weird. Change the... It's a bit too... kind of boom boom box. And let's go with some chill beats. Lo-fi. There you go. Why isn't it playing? There you go. Oh, much better. 10 cards. Come on, 10 cards. We can do it. What ways do we have of interacting with the monsters? We have something that gives them more power. Do we have something that gives it less power? I mean, there's damage, so that works. Let's have a pestilence. Oh, we have pestilence. Okay. What does pestilence do? Remove 3 souls from the game. Each turn equal to the number of souls under your control. Interesting. Let's have it be called Monster Sickness. curse. All monsters not under your control get -1 power. There you go. I don't know. That's fine. Next. Behemoth, Thrall, Mummy, Gorgon, Leviathan, Serpent, Seer. Any other ways of interacting with the monsters? There's a way of sacrificing them, getting control of them, returning them to hand, right? How about this? Return any monster of your choice to the top of the deck. Spell. I don't think you need, you know, to be granted souls. How about something else that maybe utilizes the discard pile? Remove. There's a thing that consult the archive already. Remove 3 spells from the discard pile. Collect 3 souls. Right? And we'll call it Burn Effigy or something. No. Library of Alexandria. I don't know why I added of Alexandria, but the idea is there. Okay. 6 cards. Come on, come on. Let's see. Amount of actions per turn. We have one that changes abilities. Okay. How about oh, interesting. The Gorgon turns to stone. Its power becomes 0. It can't attack. How about we get rid of it turns to stone? It loses all abilities. Its power becomes 0 and it cannot attack. How about that? Next. How about if you can... how about this? Monsters you control can attack twice during each of your turns. And we'll call it the Curse of Wrath. Don't you like it, the misaligned not cursive, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. 0. Curse. 5 more. Okay. How about this? Reveal cards from the deck until you reveal a monster. Summon that monster. So this rewards you for, you know, putting cards in a certain order. Yeah, there's luck involved, but there is some amount of potential synergy to be found in here. So we'll call it Wheel of Fortune. Although there is a Magic the Gathering card. Monster Edition. There you go. These names again. I'll repeat myself. These names will be changed. Now, these last 5 cards will be giving you souls in different ways. Collect 1 soul for each curse in play. Then we can do discard. How about another curse, actually? I want more card filtering, so we'll have a curse. Curse of knowledge. Look at the top card of the deck. You can put it at the bottom, or to the bottom. Put it on the bottom. Curse of knowledge. Curse of curses? No. How about right. All of this is free. How about 1 spell that costs souls? We'll have a spell that costs a soul, and we'll call it what could it be? You sacrifice a soul, and what happens? I don't know, actually. That doesn't make much sense, because most of the spells give you souls, so paying them to get more, I mean, I guess you could do, like, something like that. Because there is one that grants you 5, and this one grants you 6, but you need 2 already. Let's try it. And a couple more cards, and I think this is a decent starting package to test. Obviously, you know, most of them will not go all the way through the end stages of development, but maybe some of these effects will be used the way they are, or maybe they can be refined, maybe they can be whatever, put onto demon abilities or different things. Final 2 cards, what could they be? If we order, by the way, let's order this. I don't remember how you order things. Never mind. Couple of cards. Let's go back here. Maybe I can think of 2 abilities by looking at the rules. Okay, no demons in this particular version, so I don't think counting turns is a good thing. So like gain a soul for each turn that has transpired is not a good ability because you need to keep track of turns. Using a demon's ability. How about this? Collect 1 soul for each monster that attacks during their controller's next turn. For each monster that attacks during their control. Basically, if if you don't understand what this means, I hope I made it clear. But basically, you don't get any souls right away. But if during your the next player's turn they attack, you get a soul, and then the next player goes, they attack with 2 monsters, you get 2 souls. So this discourages players from attacking because they'll give you extra souls. For each monster that attacks under control. How about each opponent's? Let's call it. This should be grammatically correct. Maybe it isn't, but we'll call this chicken game. And last card for today, at least. And after this, I will go back to drawing because I've got some artwork to work on. Got a vampire tea party, and so far just Vampirella is well detailed, but I'll be working on all of the other characters once I finish this stream. I'll take a little bit of a break and then I'll continue working. Last card, come on. What can we do? Oh, we can turn one monster into another. That could be interesting. We've got gaining control of things. I don't think we have the power to destroy a monster, right? Outright. I don't think there is such a card. Wheel of Fortune Q's curse count. Don't think there is. I kind of forgot. I'll call it destroy any monster of your choice. How about you collect a soul? Alright, you collect its soul. There you go. You've got 60 cards. And we've got the monsters within them. So, unlike the previous version of the rules, where we had, sure, a common deck, and we had another 5 to 15 monster cards, we have included them in the 60, which gives me less work to do. I need to draw 15 fewer cards, but it doesn't take away from, the amount of turns that are total in a regular game of this Apocalypse, or whatever the game will be called. So there you go. We've got 60 cards, and we'll see how many of them are playable, are balanced. Probably none of them, but nevertheless, it's gonna be fun. The next stream that I do related to the game development of this game will be a playtest session of this playset of cards. And any of you who wants to join, you can join the Discord, the Talk Arts Discord. I don't know if the link is anywhere. I can put it up onto the, what's it called? Into the stream. Let's do it now. So invite people. Copy. Let's see. Invite link. Expire after never. Max number of users, no limit. Generate new link. Okay, so I'll put it here. And I'll put it, I mean, it should show up on both stream links, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I'll just double it again. Put it here. And yeah. I need to figure out exactly how to import cards and elements to Tabletop Simulator. I could do it via Octagon, like those of you who have played Multiverse Cosmic Conquest in the past, my previous game, you may know how to use Octagon, but it's not that simple. I hope that there are simpler ways of playing board games online, and I think Tabletop Simulator is more appropriate. I don't know yet. I don't know too much about it, but we'll see. Anyway, let's cut this stream short. Thank you everybody for watching, and yeah, I'll make this semi-regular. We'll see how things turn out, and yeah, I'll take a little bit of a break, go to the bathroom, and come back drawing more, not demons, but vampires. Any last words from you? Great stream. Okay, thank you for joining. Have a good one, everyone. Everybody. Bye. Oh, stream is still on. The stream is still on. What? No, it's